I'm going to show you how to use the gray paper and the Nitram starter kit. 4 charcoal H, there's a B pressed, B that is HB. I'm also going to use the white charcoal. I'm going to start with HB. We're going to draw this back and the paper and also applied what we learned about light and shadow. Okay, the first thing we're going to need to thinking about is to think about the whole thing, the whole composition, so including the cast shadow. Whatever you consider, you put it on and you can change it. I'm going to have this a little bit higher like that and just think about. And the bottom over here, the cast shadow, coming all the way around this area. And then this is the whole big shape. And right in the middle over here, there's an apple, right? And this is the 2 shape over here too. And coming out a little bit more. But don't just draw it and then accept it immediately. I would like you to slow down at this step. And you want to think about, this is exactly the space that you want. And you can consider this is a positive space. The outside space, you can call it to be a negative space. Positive space and negative space actually together to create the balance of your drawing. Now you think about that, do I want it to be a little bit more to the left, a little bit to the right, a little bit higher, a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller? I probably want it to be a little bit higher. Okay, like that, or maybe a little bit more toward the left side. It's an inch, a little bit more on this side, like that. So think a little bit more if the catch the shadow of the apple. And I'm going to have this also move to the left a little bit. Okay, and then on this side, and I'm going to keep the right side over there. So that means that I just make the whole thing a little bit bigger, right? Okay, now I'm going to continue playing with this idea. And this is the bottom of the bag. Now I get a little bit smaller shape already, right? Like that, and then coming a little bit down over here. Okay, that's good. Like that, and I'm going to add it. Now I can see that this actually consider is about 1/3. Now start using your measurement. Here, there's a little bit more than 1/3, and the leftover is a little bit less, about a 2/3. Now I'm going to have this down, coming over here, and then coming up, and then end it over there. Okay, like that. It's pretty interesting. That's a little bit longer, and there's I have a little line coming down, and you can add some other shape to it. Okay, so we don't know exactly how big's the apple yet. We're going to measure that too, right? So I'm just going to walk you through this process, how to use the gray paper. It's a toned paper. It's not the white paper. And how you're going to use the white charcoal in this process. All right, I think the composition is pretty good. I like the composition so far. And the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to thinking about what shape they're actually darker than the tone of the paper. Some areas going to lighter than the paper. You're going to use white charcoal. The shadow side of the back actually a little bit darker. So I'm going to just put that a little shape like that in here. Okay, here you go. Also put a little bit shape over here. I try to help myself to make up my mind how I'm going to see the whole drawing. After you shade it, you may not see it the way that you see it at the beginning. So I'm going to put a little shape like that. I'm going to put a little shape over here. Those are also very easy to change or erase. Okay, I'm going to have a little big shape like that. Okay, so I'm going to have a little shape like that. Now I'm going to look at it again. Is this kind of shape that you want? I can see that this is the shape. Sometimes we move it a little bit too much to the left side, and we don't know it until you shade it. So give a little bit more confirmation, but don't do too much. You always go back to look at it again from a little distance. That is a very important step. Measurement I think that I need to change that a little bit more over here, a little bit more in here. And the back, that's good. Unless you intentionally change it the way you want. Like that, this is good. Coming onto this side. Okay, now the proportion, actually, I like the way, very much the way it is. I like that. Okay, in that case, the next thing you want to do, I'm going to continue using the HB to do the inch by inch observation. Now I'm going to start over here. Take a look at that. 1 inch at a time. Look before you draw. Okay, it's not that many lines. Look again, coming over here. That's good. And this is the time also allow yourself to observe for all the things that involve in your drawing. That's good. So this can be softened. Okay, this is good. Now I'm going to come back to this side and look at again. Look at again, like that. That's good. I'm going to come this the top. Okay, that's good. Look at the shape of the apple. And this is not the regular charcoal. It has a very different feeling when you're holding it. That's good. And I have a little shape over here. Like that. This is pretty good. I'm going to take a look at that. The catch the shadow needs to be lower a bit. Now here you go. Coming over here. And look again. Look at the angle from here to here. You can see it's a little bit more to the left side. So I don't want to draw it too hard. That's the shadow actually not really that dark. I'm going to come over here. This is good. I'm going to come back on this side. I'm going to take a look at this pier over here, like that. And come down a little bit more. Look at it again. Okay, come back over here. Don't go too fast. Okay, slow down and look before you draw. That's good. That's the apple. And then I'm going to coming back over here. Now see, this needs to be a little bit tiny, a little bit more higher. Like that, and coming down. And here you go. Coming over here. Look at it again. Every step ahead, you need to think a little bit more. Okay, now I'll come back over here, and just tiny a little bit higher. And here you go. Look at the direction of the line. Here we go. That's pretty good. And then keep going. That's good. Look at the angle. That's good. Like that. And come back in here. And actually the whole process of observational drawing is not hard. The process, we know that, is step by step. Start from the understanding of our plan and the composition. Not really that difficult. The difficult part is, do you allow yourself the time to make more proper understanding of what you're going to do and how every step integrate into the whole picture making. Okay, that's good. Like that. A little shape coming onto this side. And this is good. I make it a little bit darker. Like that. After this, you're already knowing that, oh, this is pretty good already. And something over here inside the back, we are also going to take a look. And we can cut that. This is about, on this side, it's about 1/3. And this is the end over here. So this part is about 1/3 compared to the whole from here to there, right? So if you see everything related in the proportion, and you'll be able to get the proportion correctly. But don't just ignore it, okay? So everything over here, it needs to be related together. Okay, I'm going to draw a little bit deeper inside, like that. Here we go. Another shape like that. Okay. All right, we just go through that inch by inch. Now I'm going to build up the shape with the value. So I'm going to use a little bit tiny darker. This is the B. So I'm going to use this. Make the outside shape over here darker. There's a lot softer charcoal. Okay, here you go. Now I'm going to go through this, making this a little bit darker. Right? The same thing they were drawing an apple. In order to have the apple stand out from the environment and the background, you need to make the background help your object, the main object, to stand out. Now make that a little bit darker already, and you can, the same thing, use the finger. You can soften that a little bit because the texture is a little bit too strong. So I'm going to make that a little bit over there. And this, maybe after you have the darker tone in the back, you can see this, probably this can be still a little bit darker. So I'm not going to use the B, but I'm going to use the HB again. Okay, now I'm going to have this a little bit tiny darker. Okay, we don't know exactly how dark that's supposed to be, but I think the apple needs to be darker. So I'm going to have the apple over here. I'm also going to have the apple darker than the shadow side of the back. And I'm going to shade it into the cast shadow. Like that. It's pretty good. Now I'm going to have this shape, cast to shadow. They're very similar in the cast to shadow, in the same, under the same lighting, in a similar location, because the environment also help to determine the shadow. Make it a little bit darker. Okay, this is good. Okay, a little bit darker over here, a little bit darker over there, the whole thing in the shadow. Right, this is good. And the outside over here, a little bit tiny darker. Now, don't forget that we consider also the lighter shape. So I'm going to use the white charcoal. So what I'm going to do over here, I'm going to have a little bit white charcoal, putting the white charcoal in here, and I'm going to put a little white charcoal on the edge. Can you see that? I'm going to put a little white charcoal over here, the top, a little bit shiny over there. Now you're going to see that we're expanding the value range, not just from the mid-tone, which is the color of the paper, to the dark, also from the mid-tone, go to the lighter area. So, okay, I'm going to take a look at the top over here. Again, before I apply the white charcoal, I have a habit. I have to make the area clean, so I don't want to make it into a gray color, and just a little bit lighter. That's pretty easy. Now the outside over here too, I'm going to have that, making the outside to be lighter. Okay, like that. That's good. Like that. If I make the outside lighter, the inside, even just the color of the paper, it will look darker. Okay, like that. Going over here on this side. There you go. Now I'm going to come in onto this side. That's just a little bit lighter shape, a little shiny highlight over there. So I'm going to put that over here too. Immediately. Like that. This looks pretty good. And I'm also going to have some light shape on the outside over here too. Here you go. And right, that's good. Now I'm going to come in onto this side I'm also going to make it appear to be a lighter, okay? But not as light as it is in this spot. Okay, here you go. I can make this, the outside over here, also a little bit darker, a little bit lighter like that. That's good. Right, now you look at it, the whole back over here, now you can make that judgment and say, oh, this is maybe a little bit lighter. So the first thing you need to do is the eraser. If the eraser is still, the paper color is still not light enough, and then you're going to use the white charcoal. Okay, like that, coming a little bit over here on this side. Like that. You see the reflection? Now it looks like coming from the table, right? And now I'm going to continue having that over here. Oh, there's a little bit shadow, a darker shape inside over here. Okay, this is good. And I can soften that a little bit. I think that color in over there, in the inside of the back, this is already the perfect tone, right? So I'm going to use the eraser to create a sharper edge. Okay. So by using a tone paper, it gives you more fun as well as the more challenge that you have to think it about how to leverage the color of the paper. If you spend a little bit more time, and you'll be able to make the drawing looks pretty good. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share with your friends. Our community has some member exhibitions coming up. Join us and become a member. I will see you in our next lesson.